Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and I am, of course, GeneralLotz, bringing you my review of Episode 5. This episode is substantially better, but still not particularly very good, in comparison to Episode 4. Episode 4 was a generic filler episode, and Episode 5 is still a generic filler episode, but it is at least more entertaining. Sure, it's something we've seen a million times before, but at the very least, the Mandalorian gets a couple of cool lines, and I believe this episode might actually advance the plot. So, we've got the Mandalorian leaving the low-budget planet for Tatooine for whatever reason. One cool aspect is actually hear Mos Eisley sending out a message to the Mandalorian before he lands. You would think they would actually do this, but we've never actually seen that in Star Wars before, and it's a nice little touch. Upon landing on the planet, he seeks out a new bounty. For whatever reason, he decides to leave Yo Baby back at the ship, but that doesn't really go anywhere. He is unable to actually find any new bounties, but a young upstart bounty hunter wants to share his potential bounty with the Mandalorian, because he believes that he will be able to be made a full member of the guild if he's able to bring in his chosen bounty. And his chosen bounty is, of course, a super epic assassin. The Mandalorian, of course, agrees to help him, and we get some decent scenery scenes. The speeder bikes look okay, but you know where this is going to go. The young upstart is, of course, going to be a complete asshole throughout the entire episode. The Mandalorian's going to act like the wise old mentor, and as is pretty well expected from an episode like this, the young upstart, of course, betrays the Mandalorian. And, of course, as you would expect, the Mandalorian is able to easily defeat him. And finally, when the episode ends, we see the Mandalorian going back for the super epic assassin for some reason. Yeah, this is your pretty typical Old West-styled gunslinger kind of episode. Even the title is named Gunslinger. It wasn't that bad. The young upstart is entertaining enough, and you just want to see the Mandalorian shoot him, which of course he does in an epic fashion. We get a decent little side character in the guise of the docking bay mechanic. She's cool enough, and she helps take care of the Yo Baby, and she even has some cute pit droids that help her out here and there. But really, there's not a lot here. This is a pretty thin episode that thankfully isn't quite as generic as the previous one. I sincerely hope that Episode 6 gets back onto the plot railroad and actually does something with the Yo Baby other than just have him be there and be cute. These past two episodes have shown a complete lack of imagination and are definitely a slump for the show, especially since this is supposed to only be something like 8 episodes. Even if this were a modern-day 10-episode miniseries like we often get, this is still 2 episodes that are complete filler trash. I have to ask why. The show is meandering and it doesn't have a lot of time to meander. So here is hoping that Episode 6 is actually good. And so, I am GeneralLotz, wishing you good, Mandalorian, or whatever made you happy. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and if you can, please consider supporting me on Patreon so that I can continue bringing you this awesome content.